Hello there. In this episode of the Brassettes podcast, I chat to some of the women from Brazen Brass. Brazen is an all-new, all-female brass band. Formed in response to the Mysogyny in Music report, Brazen are a collection of the UK's finest female brass and percussion players. Brazen's players originate from all over the world and have experience in all genres of music, from jazz and classical to traditional brass bands. They provide a safe, creative space for women to come together to play and learn from each other. They play joyful tunes you will know and want to sing along to. Brazen showcases women in brass and want to inspire girls everywhere to pick up an instrument and play. Hope you enjoy our chat.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Sally Edward. I am a trombone player. And I was taught by my dad. He will be conducting in his 80s at the Yorkshire areas on the 1st of March. He's conducting Gawthorpe. So big shout out to them. This band came about last year. I was approached by a brilliant producer and director called Esther Ferry Kennington, and she puts together the Encounters Festival in Lancaster, in Preston. And she had an idea that she wanted to, in response to the Mysogyny Music report that came out in 2023, she wanted to kind of redress the balance and have right up front, leading the procession, an all-female brass group. So she put that as a wish list in her bid to the Arts Council, and she got it. And then she was like, "Oh God, I've actually got to get a band together." So she got in touch with me. We'd never met before, but she'd heard that I kind of know a few people in the brass band world and further afield, and I think probably because of my work with Mr. Wilson Second Liners as well, she contacted me and asked me to put the band together. So we did a very quick shout out on the socials and spoke to people that we know and just asked people to get in touch if they were interested in playing at this particular occasion. And we got loads of replies.
Brilliant.
And not just... We got a huge amount, but we also got really, really, really high quality players coming forward. So it was a dream job to be able to just go down and pick, really. And what was really important to me as a brass player and as a ex-brass bander, now do all kinds of things, it was to give brass the full stage. So a lot of the kind of street bands at the moment have a lot of saxes and different instruments, but I thought I just want to stick to brass, but I want to mix it up so people from any background, any genre. So we have classical French horn players, we have brass band E-flat tubas, we have touring professional trombone players. I'm just looking at all the women in the room now. So people are coming from all different experiences, and I think that really adds to the richness. And as the band progresses, I think we can all learn lots from each other, because it's quite easy to get siloed into one particular style of playing. Just get kind of stuck there, and that's where you live. Trombone players are quite lucky because we kind of pop out all over the place. We can play in pretty much anything. But certainly the traditional brass band instruments, or perhaps orchestral instruments, sometimes do get a little bit stuck. And it was really important for me to bring all those types of players together. And so then we had to decide what to play. And we thought we would go for kind of female anthemic kind of sing-along tunes, and we asked one of our members to do the arrangements, and we had a very, very short rehearsal, and then the next thing we were on the streets performing and leading the procession for Encounters Festival.
Brilliant.
They smashed it. It was brilliant.
Fantastic. That's absolutely great, isn't it? So how many players have you got then?
So we've expanded the team. So we'd usually go out as an 8-piece, but we've expanded the team to, I think, 13 or 14 currently, just so that we've got a huge geographical split. We've got the Scottish contingent, which we have in the room now. We've got quite a few players from London. We've got quite a few from the north of England. So I want to make sure that we're covered for every eventuality. So not everybody's going to be available for every gig. So I wanted to make sure we were doubling up on instruments to make sure we can do what people want us to do, and also to make it easier on traveling sometimes. So, if we've got a gig further down south, we'll probably use people down south. If it's further up north, we'll use the northerners and just kind of manage it that way.
That's good, isn't it? Yeah. So how often would you practice then? Do you have regular practices, or do you practice when it's, I know it's hard, isn't it, when you're all spread out?
So this is the difficulty. It's not the case that we meet every week to practice. It's so everybody's doing enormous work by themselves, and then we're coming together for a short rehearsal before gigs. But we do have 2 days together that we've all booked coming up in May, where we can have a solid 2-day rehearsal and performance skills and do all kinds of things, costume fittings, photographs, that kind of thing. So hopefully after the end of those 2 days, we'll be pretty solid. And then we do have a whole week's worth of gigs together. So we're playing Durham International Brass Festival.
Yes, I saw that on your list. Fantastic. I'll have to go.
Very cool. Yeah.
That'll be cool. So how many spots are you doing there then?
So you do 2 schools during the day, every day, Monday to Friday. Yeah. You play 5 concerts during the week, different parks every evening. And then you play all day Saturday in the streets of the city of Durham. Yeah. And then on Sunday, there's a kind of everybody gets together and there's kind of a massed band finale before you get to go home again. So by the end of that week, everybody should know what the tunes go like.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, it's going to be great though, isn't it? Yeah. So the festival is in July, isn't it? Yes. July. Oh, well, that's something to look forward to, isn't it? And then you've got, I've just looked as well, you've got the Manchester Folk Festival coming up, haven't you?
Yeah, that's really soon. That's the 20th of March. Right. That's a really great gig for showcasing what we can do in front of bookers from all over the UK and further.
Absolutely fantastic, isn't it? So you've only been together a year, would you say? Would it be
less than that?
Less than that. I was going to say, yeah. Oh, well, that's absolutely fantastic. So let's have a look. So how did you start playing then? Did you so was it your dad, did you say that?
Me. Sorry, my dad. Yeah. No, it's fine. So I was actually born into a family of Salvation Army.
Were you? Yeah.
So my dad was a bandmaster, my mum was a songster leader, and I think basically they needed a trombone in the junior band, so that's what I was given.
Right.
So there's no real choice about it. So yeah, I learnt to play by my dad, and then got into other brass bands, played for Sellers, played for Hammonds, did quite a lot in the early 90s at a quite high level.
Yeah.
And then kind of moved away from that and played in lots of different things ever since.
Oh, fantastic! Well, we better let's have a look. We'll move on. Is that all right? I'll go to let's have a look. I'll go to Stephanie next. We've got Stephanie Shaw, another trombone player.
Oh, yeah.
Steph. Hello there. You okay?
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you very much for coming on the Brassettes podcast.
Well, thanks for inviting us.
No, it's great. Thank you for coming because. I was just saying this is the first time I've had so many people on one chat, so you'll have to bear with me. I think we're doing all right.
I think we're behaving, aren't we?
yeah. So how did you get started then, Steph?
Well, similar to Sally, actually. My dad started me off. So both my parents were peripatetic music teachers in Sefton. And my mum plays the viola and my dad plays the tuba. And so we were given an option of either strings or brass. And strings didn't really terribly excite me very much. So
you're stuck with the brass, yeah.
Stuck for brass, yeah. And he sort of mentioned the trombone, and I was like, what's that? And we just had a concert in school, in the primary school, like literally the week he was sort of asking us what we wanted to play. And he was like, oh, it's the one with the slide like that. And I'd sat right underneath the trombone player on that concert, and I was just watching the slide go over my head like this. I was like, oh, yeah, I'll play that one.
And I want to do that one. Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Isn't it? You know, so you went to university, and so it's been music all the way.
Yeah, I went to the Royal Academy of Music, which was an amazing opportunity and such a driven place. Like, I grew up in Liverpool. I didn't go to any of the junior colleges or anything like that. So it was like straight in the deep end there. And it was really, special place to be.
Oh, fantastic. And I bet you're enjoying since you've got together, you'll be really looking forward to doing your big concerts.
Oh, it's so much fun. Really enjoyed the Encounter Festival, and we all got played together for the first time. It was so exciting.
Yeah, because do you know what? I saw some of the pictures, and I know this is, but it did strike, because you're so different, aren't you? How you dress and everything.
That's right.
Yeah, and so how did that come about then? Because I read somewhere that did somebody design all your uniforms?
Yeah,
it's not uniforms, is it? It's cooler than uniforms, really. It's
I guess outfits.
Outfits, that's it, isn't it? It's your outfits,
Yeah, they were really cool. Like Sally had said that she'd hired a student from a fashion college. Is that right, Sally? Yeah. And we didn't really know what was happening. We sent off our measurements, and then we turned up on the day, and these awesome jackets were produced with like the logo on the back with
really
the instrument on. They're really cool.
They are, aren't they? So like, that's it, isn't it? And when you wear, you're going to be so, because do you do a lot of marching? Do you do a lot of marching, would you say? Because
I think we will be doing a lot of marching. Like I said, we're all quite new, and Sally's the one who knows everything that's coming up. I think they'll probably be.
Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot.
I think there will be quite a big element of marching around, and
that's the thing. And choreography, a bit of dancing, a bit of movement. Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. Oh, well, lovely to chat to you. Thank you very much. Right, I'll go to Kirsty next. We've got Kirsty Adams, E-flat bass player.
Hi, Joanne.
Hello there. Hello, Kirsty.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm the E-flat bass player, and I go in the silo of traditional brass band player. I've only ever played in a brass band, and at school.
Yes.
So it's completely out my comfort zone. I do the traditional marching 4x4.
Yeah.
Old school marches, Death or Glory, and it's just been so refreshing to be with a lovely squad of women playing pop songs, inspiring songs, and not having to be by the left.
That's the thing, isn't it? Just so mixing it up totally. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, because we just chatted earlier, didn't we? And you were saying that, like, you're playing for the Scotland areas, aren't you? In the region?
Yeah, our regionals are the second week in March, so we are after the north of England. So it's really interesting that we all get together for one weekend. It's the only time I think that every brass band in Scotland is together, and it's so nice to meet everyone and to see what everybody's been doing. And I can't wait to tell them all about Brazen and how much fun it is.
Exactly, isn't it? It's fantastic. Yeah, because how did you start then? Was it family? Did you have family?
No, so I'm the first musical person in my family. I turned up to school, and my music teacher, or brass teacher, Margaret Foster, was there, and we were in P5, so I was 7. Turned up, got asked, can you blow a note? Blew a note on a soprano cornet. 5 weeks later, I had an E-flat bass in my hand.
Wow.
I firmly believe that you do not pick your instrument picks you. Because I don't think I could play a soprano cornet anymore. And from there on in, I just was always the youngest bass player, the only bass player that was a girl. I was really fortunate that at the time in the 90s, West Lothian had a fantastic schools brass band with Nigel Bodis, who at the time it was the Royal Academy of Music and Drama in Glasgow. And I sat at age 12 surrounded by huge adult boys playing the bass, and I just thought, I can do this just as well as you guys can. And I did. And then my life took a turn at 16. I was going to the Royal Academy, and I became a mum. and I gave up music, and it's one of my biggest regrets. So at 29, started back again with the Whitburn band family, and when Sally put her post up, I just thought, I'm 39 and I need to do this. I need to show everybody out there that it doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter if you're a chunkier girl, you can go out, you can dance in the street with a tuba attached to you and have the best time.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I love it. I'll have to come up to Durham. I must put it on my calendar and I'll be up to see you.
Definitely.
Oh, fantastic, really good. So who have we got next? Let's have a look then. So we've got Carly McCready as well now. So French horn player Carly, isn't she?
Hiya.
Hello, Carly. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. It's lovely to be part of all this conversation. It's so interesting to hear it all, like sitting on the other side as well. I'm learning so much.
That's the thing, isn't it? That's what I found since I've started doing these chats. I come away and I'm always on a high. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's so inspiring listening to everybody, isn't it? I find it so like just doing my editing there, and I'm just listening back, and I'm like, God, I love doing this. Dear me. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for coming on. It's brilliant.
Thank you for having me.
So, how did you start playing then, Carly?
So yeah, I'm a French horn player. I'm also from Scotland, like Kirsty. We've got a little Scottish crew in Brazen, which is really nice. So I'm originally from Aberdeen, so way up north. And at that time, the council took an initiative, and they wanted to increase wind band players in the city area. So they came into the local primary schools right in the city centre, handed out a bunch of wind band instruments, and that's how I ended up with a French horn. It was literally just pull a name out of a hat kind of thing. And luckily it worked for me, And then, I was really lucky when I got into secondary school at that time. All the tuition and stuff was free, and Aberdeen at that point, unfortunately, not so much anymore, but had a really thriving music service. So there was multiple bands on per week. And when I got into secondary school, I just made like a really good community of friends and everything, and just really took to it. And the peripatetic teacher in my school, Alan MacDonald, was so dedicated to what he was doing. So he, made it feel like it was such an important part of our lives, and, really put such high expectations on us. And I think it was just such a positive thing for kind of the group of us. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's the thing, isn't it? That's what a lot of the things that we're finding out in our chats is that like a lot of people who you meet along the way when you're starting out just have such a massive impact, on your life in music. And I think it's so important, isn't it? Like when I first started playing, it was like our next door neighbour, but because none of my family were musical, and it's just like, if I hadn't have gone to band with him that night, do you know what I mean? I would never have, it's crazy, like 40 years later, and it's still playing, but it's just this thing, isn't it? How people come into your life, and it's great, isn't it?
It's crazy. Like, we're still like a group of people from literally like we started probably all playing this band coming on like 15 years ago, and still all really good pals. And, it's like totally shaped our lives. And, we've all gone on to, like, obviously I ended up going on to do music, but we've all gone on to do different things, but still like in touch, and it's still kind of a part of our lives, And you just kind of think back when you're an adult, like how lucky you are and how important it all was for you.
That's the thing, isn't it? It is, because one of the things that I always say is like when you're young and you're learning, I absolutely loved learning, playing my instrument, but there's always like the rest of your friends are always off doing other things, or like with us, there was a Friday night disco, and everybody used to go from school, but we had band practice. You know what I mean? So we never ever went. It would be very rare that I went to school disco, and used to feel like you were missing out. But as you get older, you look back and you think, well, actually, we didn't at all, because like we grew up with like people our own age, and we had our own, and it is, isn't it? These kind of things. I don't know. It's a fantastic thing to be part of. I think music. It's I don't regret any of it. I think it's
and you realize kind of how so now like I'm part of like I do work playing, but also a lot in education. So I'm part of the Systema Scotland programme. So they've recently, about 3 years ago now, they launched their very first brass band programme. So it's just brass banding instruments, in a community in Stirling called Fallin, which is an ex-mining community. But it didn't quite keep up all the traditional bands like you've seen in a lot of mining communities. So it's been it's been really special, because it's quite just geographically, the actual area is quite isolated. So it's been a really nice thing to come to the community. And then a lot as well of grandparents and stuff who have stayed in the communities for years and who worked in the mines. It brings back a lot for them as well. And they're really excited about, their grandkids, their kids playing as part of a brass band and kind of keeping a little bit of that mining tradition alive.
That's the thing, isn't it? And even if you start out in a brass band, you can go on to other things as well, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It opens the doors, doesn't it? Oh, well, that's great. Thank you. I might go back to Sally now. Is that all right?
Of course.
Okay, thank you very much. Are you there, Sally?
I'm here, yes. Yeah.
Hello, are you all right?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah.
Yes,
it's really lovely to hear everybody's stories. It's
really nice, isn't it? It is. I think that's the thing, isn't it? Everybody's got such different stories, but it's music that brings us all together, isn't it? It's lovely to hear. So what else would you say then? If you're with Brazen Brass, is it Brazen Brass or just Brazen? What would you say? Isn't it?
Brazen is just a brilliant word because it's kind of like from a brazier, how you make brass, you kind of all the different metals to go together, and then obviously it's like a brazen women. But the website available was Brazen Brass Band, so I don't know how it's going to pan out. Yeah, either's good.
No, that's fine, isn't it? No, that's great, isn't it? Because so what would you say then? The best things about having your group then? Would you say are you having to do a lot of work promoting your group, or is it how would you say it's going with you?
Yeah, so this is the first band that I've ever been involved in that I haven't played in. So I'm not playing, I'm just doing the kind of, I'm like the swan's legs, if you like.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on in the background. So as well as trying to do promotion and book gigs, we are working on making some little tweaks to the costumes, so perhaps that because they're already cool, but we'd like them to shine a little bit in the dark. I've got some experiments going on with my own trombone and lights at the moment, just to see what works, what doesn't work. Because we'd like to make an impact on the street and glow in the dark if possible at some point.
Fantastic.
We don't currently, so that's something I'm working on. We're organising this 2-day together, so there's a bit of organisation around that, buying new uniforms, getting slightly different t-shirts printed up for the summer. So Hanifa from Lancaster University Fashion Department is helping me do everything clothing wise.
Brilliant.
She's really, really good, and she totally hit the spot with the costumes for the first gig that we played. I'm having promo done. I've made the website. I'm kind of on it quite a lot of the time. Anytime gigging,
exciting stuff.
I'm kind of on this at the minute because it feels to me. So I'm kind of like, I've been playing since before I went to school, and I'm not going to stop anytime soon. But it's kind of nice to do this for other people because I've had a brilliant time playing the trombone. I've been all over the place doing all kinds of and had a really awesome time. But I understand how difficult it is to do all the promotion, do all the admin, do all that kind of stuff, and gig at the same time. So it's a little bit of a, I don't know, I'm really passionate about it. I really want to give women a chance and to be more visible. I'm working away in the background, to make this happen for everybody, and hopefully it will have some longevity and be really inspiring to younger girls to pick up.
Yeah, see, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So what about your music then? So do you have people who in your group? I think you did say that, didn't you? Who is it that writes your music then? Or do you buy it in, or do you have?
So we're doing all our own arrangements because it's quite an unusual lineup. So I'm not sure we could get it quite off.
I was going to say, yes, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's fun to do. So I've just done one.
Have you?
Yeah. I've just because it's nice to do, isn't it? If you like that kind of thing.
It is, yes.
And Grace, one of our trumpet players, she has done the first batch of songs. But our other French horn player, Lynn, has just tweaked one that she already had for this lineup, which is coming out soon. Everybody knows about this. Oh. And I'm hoping to speak to Steph about doing some arrangements for us going forward. But we're trying to mix up the repertoire. So currently we're playing things like I'm So Excited by the Pointer Sisters and Hot to Go, Chapel Roan is coming out soon. It's for the younger kids.
Yes.
We've got quite a mix. I've just done a Billie Eilish tune. And we've got some ideas of the direction we want to go. We're playing Walk Like an Egyptian by the Bangles. So I think it's fun to play, and we're going to try and split it up around the band. So if anybody else wants to get involved in arranging, let me know.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for chatting to me. Thank you so much, all of you. It's so interesting to hear. We'll maybe have to do a follow-up, Maybe at the end of the year, we'll have to do another... we could do another chat and see you talk about what you've been up to, and we can include some of your videos and stuff. That'd quite nice. Great. And some of your recordings.
Be really good, yeah.
Yeah, so keep in touch, because I'll come and see you in Durham.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Well, let us know when you're coming and we'll make sure.
That'll be great. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been great.
You.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.